Hello and welcome back to Down to Earth Mystic for another Pick a Deck reading. So if you're unfamiliar with the process, what happens here is you'll focus on the 3 decks here, decide which one has your reading, and go to that coordinating timestamp below. The first deck is the Angel Tarot. The second deck is the Crystal Visions Tarot, and the third deck is the Tarot of Dreams. So without further ado, I will dive in. We'll move the other decks out of the way. Get that guy out of the way. So in this case, we will be doing a past, present, and future reading with some clarifiers. So it's a little bit different than some of the other readings I've done with the Celtic Cross. I'm going to go with that as our first card. And we'll dive in. So we've got past, present, and future, and then clarifiers. Get everything out of the way. Okay, so in the past, we've got the 8 of Air, which is also known as the 8 of Swords. In the present, we've got the Moon. And in the future, Ace of Fire. So we'll go ahead and reveal all the cards here. Here's the clarifier for the past, clarifier for the present, clarifier for the future, and this we have the 6 of Water, which is the same as 6 of Cups, Knight of Earth, which is the same as Knight of Pentacles, and then 6 of Air, which is the same as the 6 of Swords. So let's dive into it. So in the past, it looks like, interestingly enough, the clarifier does specifically talk about past in general. It could be someone from your past, or something from a past life, but I'm jumping ahead a little bit here. But it does look like in the past you have felt trapped. It does say at the bottom an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, and afraid to take action. A lot of times you'll see this card represented as a man or a woman in the middle of a circle of swords stuck in the ground, and so it feels like they're trapped. They also have a blindfold on, so that is kind of not depicted nearly the same in this card. That's why I felt like I needed to share that. But it looks like in the past you felt stuck, trapped, because it is an air element or sword card. I'm going to say it's actually in your mind that you had yourself convinced that you were stuck. And so clarified by the 6 of Water, this could be, like I said earlier, something from your past, like further back past than your moment of experiencing being trapped. It was a reflection on something that made you feel that way. 6 of Water can also represent soulmate, so it can be someone that you felt strongly connected with. Could be someone that you was intended to step into your life merely for the purpose of teaching you a lesson, not necessarily like a lifelong soulmate. It says down here, memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, reminiscing the past. So yes, I'll already said all that stuff. I did mention children. Sometimes the 6 of Water can represent the innocence of children. Because I was so drawn to simply past and soulmate, I feel it is more around that. For some of you, it may represent something to do with children. So anyway, we've talked a lot about the past. We're moving on to the present. In the present, you've got the Moon, which in this particular Angel Tarot deck also mentions Archangel Heniel. And at the bottom it says, important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. So I'm just going to go ahead and interpret that as you realize now in your present that in the past that you were unnecessarily feeling trapped. You realize now it is something that was simply an illusion, not necessary to continue to feel that way. And this is clarified by a court card. So I'm going to say that this could include a earth sign male. Doesn't have to be that specific, it can be, but an earth sign would be, say, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Someone who is loyal and dedicated, honorable and kind. But if it doesn't necessarily refer to, in your case, a person, then it also says time to buckle down and get things done, honoring your commitments, a guardian angel. Now, I know, or I feel, that the Knight of Earth or Knight of Pentacles, yes, it does represent someone who's loyal and honorable, but also, for me, represents the slowest moving movement card, as knights are somewhat of a movement card or an offer card. So it sounds like you still might feel a little bit trapped. You might actually feel as if you're being held back by something in your past causing you to move slowly, if it's not actually some person that is creating the movement for you or helping you to understand your insights, your psychic insights. There might be someone coming to share their insights with you, and that's how you are coming to the conclusion, that previously you've held yourself back. But overall, without getting too complicated with it, I feel like if it doesn't involve another person, like an earth sign male or earth sign person in general, it may actually indicate that there are things you need to get done. You know that the past should no longer hold you back, but you still may be moving forward a bit cautiously and a bit slowly. Now, in your future, Ace of Fire, fire suit in general is going to be much quicker movement than an earth sign, and so it does say an exciting opportunity, career advancement, change your life now. That I feel like the energy of the card feels like much quicker movement, an opportunity that presents itself to create that urgency. It just feels more urgent. This feels like la-di-da, I'll get there when I get there. I'm glad I don't have my past to worry about anymore, but I'm in no hurry. It feels like in the future you're going to step it up, you're going to speed it up, you're going to put your foot on the accelerator to get things done. And even though the Six of Air does represent, let's see, it says things are looking up, the end of a difficult situation, taking a trip. I am not feeling taking a trip as being relevant. I feel like it's more so like fully acknowledging in your near future that you really held yourself back. You're needing to move quicker to realize your goals. Six of Air for me, or Six of Swords for me, is leaving behind all of that nonsense, all of the thoughts that were holding you back, all of the sadness that made you feel heavy. You're just really shedding it and moving on. So I guess as an overall, we'll say you previously were holding yourself back. You're really starting to identify that there's absolutely no reason to do so by someone else's advice or your own realization. It can go either way. And then now you're really stepping up the pace. Now, this is the future, but in the future you will say, now's the time. I need to step up the pace. I really need to move away from all that unnecessary sadness. So, super vague reading in this case, but I think just in general, if you find yourself still lingering with that past, know that you're in the near future, you're really going to let go of that energy. You're going to realize that was so unnecessary and just start to pick up the pace. So that would be the Angel Tarot reading. Let's move on to the next one. All right, for the Crystal Visions Tarot, I feel like these guys need to be really shuffled up. Okay, that feels better. All right, so we'll first do the past, present, future clarifier for all of the above. Got a little wonky there. Okay, so in the past, we've got the Fool. In the present, we've got the King of Wands, and in the future, the Queen of Pentacles. Clarifying the Fool, we have Page of Swords. Clarifying the present, we have Seven of Swords. And clarifying your future, you have the Knight of Swords. My goodness, there's a lot of thought with the swords. There's a lot of thought that's kind of clarifying the past, present, and future here. So interesting. A whole lot of people present as well, possibly. I don't necessarily feel like that applies to most of you. I feel like for most of you, it's merely like the possibility or the energy behind that card, and not having 1, 2, 3, 4 people involved in the situation. But for you, if you're like, no, I really do have 4 people involved in this situation, you may be seeing 2 air sign people, so Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And for earth sign, that would be Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. For fire signs, that would be Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. So sorry, that was just a lot of preface to get into the reading. If you feel like you've got all those people coming in, it feels crowded. It feels like there are too many people involved. So if this involves people, keep that in mind. We've got in the past, it looks like you were very confident about something. You took a leap of faith. You were innocent in the matter when you took that leap of faith, and it generally does work out quite well for you when you do that, when you know that you've got that opportunity, and you just move forward in it. Clarified by the Page of Swords. So I feel like this kind of amplifies the whole Fool mentality, and with the Page of Swords, Page is someone that's newly stepping into something, some type of thought, some type of like logical, fact-based, it just really, I don't want to say grounded, that's not really it, but someone who thinks from their head, but yet they're new to it. Like a page can be an apprentice. So whether you were new to it or you had someone motivating you to take that leap of faith, it was someone who was a little bit green with the thought process. So in the present, now we have the King of Wands and the Seven of Swords are clarified by the Seven of Swords. So the King of Wands is someone who is super confident. They're likely very passionate about something. They're likely a leader about something, which is really interesting that you went from like this fresh green newbie on top of the world, knowing that you can accomplish something, to you are, well versed in something, you're a leader, you're on top of the still on top of the world, but in a different perspective. This is very green and naive. This is like, I've mastered it. It's really cool that you've taken literally such a leap of faith, and then a leap into your knowing and your knowledge in something. It sounds like maybe in this present with the Seven of Swords here that I don't want to say it, but I feel like this, because this card can represent deceit or deceiving somebody. It might have been kind of a long, hard road to get to this knowledge. You may have trusted someone previously that didn't really know what they were talking about. They were kind of naive and they thought they knew and they had the best of intentions, but it might have not served you very well. But what's cool about that transition and that huge leap in knowledge and leadership and whatnot is that tough time that you had, it just feels like it was the hard way to get there, the long way around. But what's great about taking the hard way to get there, the long way around, is that you know all of the ins and outs of whatever this situation is now. It's almost like, it's kind of like starting at the bottom of the ladder and working your way up, but I know that doesn't necessarily identify like deceit, but it's like because you took the long way, you learned so much on the way that you're super stable. You probably also, it actually creates the really awesome leader that you are in this present time, because you know what it's like to be at the bottom. You know what it's like to do it the hard way. So a little bit different interpretation, but I feel like the way those cards work together, that's the meaning, versus if they were just standalone, this would be more so about deceiving somebody or deceit or a theft card. But when you combine kind of your past with your present and those coming together, that's how I'm interpreting it. And so then your near future, this could also be another person coming in, an earth sign, and then this could be an air sign. But no, I see that totally differently. I still feel like, with the exception of maybe this Page of Swords, I feel like they're all really talking about you. And what's really cool, and I feel like I've seen this in a past reading recently, so maybe you also chose that one with the pick a deck reading, but it feels like you've got this King of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, and Knight of Swords, because you've got so many talents. You're so good at the passion and the leadership. You're so good at the material things and value things, and you're so good at getting better, I would say, at the thoughts. The thought process is the logic behind it. But what's great about having this in your present and this in your near future is it's like you've mastered the passion, you've mastered the leadership, and even though you've worked your way up and you've learned the hard way, you know all the ins and outs, you're kind of getting a refresher on the values, and you're getting a refresher on the thoughts and things. If not, if you do feel like this would be 2 more people coming into your life, I'd say you may, that's an interesting perspective. Maybe it's actually you're going to hire 2 more people to be under your leadership in the future. Someone who is grounded and has lots of value and really good with the finances, and then someone who is also like not leader material but really good, or getting really good at the logic. So this would be a little closer to apprentice, but not really. The queen would be a little more like well-versed. So you may be hiring 2 people to help that are very different from you. Either you are all of these elements and you're a very balanced person, or you would be hiring 2 people in the future to fulfill those values or those characteristics in yourself that you don't have, but they're such a great choice for you. Interesting. So it sounds like regardless, you're making some great decisions and you're doing very well in what you're doing. You are a great leader. And you've got a lot of, if you want to look at just the clarifying aspect of things as being all air, all swords, all logic, you've got a lot of logical foundation to you. So that is what we're looking at for the Crystal Visions Tarot. Let's move on to the last deck. And the last one is going to be the Tarot of Dreams. Let's go underneath. Okay. So with the Tarot of Dreams, we're going to have past, present, and future, clarifying past, present, and future. So in your past, we've got the Ace of Wands. In your present, Knight of Coins. In your future, the Sun. Clarifying the Ace of Wands, we've got the Ten of Wands. Clarifying the present of the Knight of Coins, we've got Strength. And then clarifying the Sun in the near future, we've got Five of Wands. Interesting. So in your past, you had a new passionate opportunity, or sometimes a renewed passionate opportunity that has presented itself. And you probably struggled quite a bit with the presentation of this opportunity, because there's a lot of struggle here as the clarifier. This Ten of Wands can be viewed as like heavy burdens. You can really even see it in the imagery that he's got 10 wands on fire on his back, and he's just kind of like almost fetal position, like holding it all up. He's doing all right, but definitely not the most comfortable position to be in. So I feel like this opportunity you felt was maybe not the best one, but that's in your past. So it's kind of like what you've got stepping energetically a little bit still into your present. It's still affecting you a little bit, but in your present we've got the Knight of Coins and the Strength. So whereas you may have felt defeated by your burdens in the past, it has created such a great strength in you, and that is your foundation moving forward as the Knight of Coins. It sounds like interesting. These are if you were torn between any of these readings, I'm seeing repeating cards. It's actually pretty interesting. But this Knight of Coins or Knight of Pentacles in some decks is like you know what, I want to say cautiously moving forward, since the Knight of Coins is the slowest moving movement. You're cautiously stepping forward because of your burdens in the past, even though this was a good opportunity. I do feel like it was a good opportunity in your past, but you've created so much strength in, I feel like it's strength because you moved slowly. You were able to observe kind of the whole picture, get a full understanding of everything, and it has created a good bit of strength for you. And so that's in your present. You're starting to realize that you're still moving slowly, but you're seeing that strength. Or if you're not actually seeing it yet, it's creating that strength in you. So in your near future, we've got the Sun, which is a very, very positive card. It is kind of like the ultimate happiness. It is I almost said abundance, and so for some of you that may resonate, but I don't think it's necessarily abundant. It's just happiness, and really, really positive results. So good on you for going through the struggles, gaining that strength, moving slowly the way that you knew you needed to, and somewhere along the process, along the way, even though this is your future card of Five of Wands, which is like conflict with someone else, I don't feel like the conflict is actually in your future. I think it's honestly more so realizing it's like reflecting on your conflict, because if you didn't have the Sun here, I may feel differently, but the Sun is a hugely positive card. So whatever your future result is, it's good for sure. But you may actually be not quite as aware of how good your situation is because of the conflict that you've experienced. Even though this is not the past placement, I feel like it is past with other people. And so that might be weighing you down a bit and not allowing you to fully see how positive your situation is. So if that resonates with you, I'd say take it that way. I hate to predict a conflict coming up, because then you're on your guard. I don't feel like that's necessary. I feel it's actually more so that you're not gonna, I guess, because of all your burdens, and even though you have the strength to handle it, you're still gonna feel that conflict with others. Or here's another completely different perspective on that. Your ultimate success and happiness may create a conflict with someone else. But my best advice I feel to give you at this point is, this is going to sound so cliche, but it's almost like it's none of your business what someone else thinks of you, because you're the only one you have anything to do about behavior, your own behavior and how you think and how you act. It sounds like you've done things correctly for this to be your future of really absolute happiness. So if that creates a conflict with someone else, just keep that in mind, that that's kind of their problem that there's conflict. If your happiness makes them upset, because I'm not seeing anything in here in the past or the present that indicates that your future conflict is self-inflicted. I think it's more so maybe like a jealousy, but don't let that get in the way of your happiness. It may pull you back from the full realization of your happiness, but I'm going to caution you to let that go, to do what you can to let it go. Well, that would be it for this reading. If you feel this was helpful, or if you just want to ask a question, please feel free to do that. To comment below and ask me a question. There's also several links in the description box for scheduling your reading with me through my Facebook page. You can also check out some merch. Feels totally unrelated to this video at all, but I wanna share that as well. I've got some really fun to design merch available through Teespring. The link is below as well. And if you made it this far through all of the spiel, please also like and subscribe. You know the deal. That's how we do it on on YouTube. And I really appreciate you watching. I hope you have a lovely day. I'll see you in the next video.